The summer of soccer rolls on in the Constitution State. Connecticut United, winners of back-to-back contests, welcomes a surging NYCFC side, unbeaten in 3 straight in this rematch from late April. Welcome inside Reese Stadium along with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. Glad to have you alongside us for this second matchup in the Tri-State Cup. Connecticut United, well, the Coy Wolves, they are riding high. Back-to-back wins. They're outscoring teams 8-2 combined in the last 2 games, and starting fast has been so crucial. They've started on the front foot, going up a goal in 3 of their last 5 matches, but they get NYCFC, who's starting to find their own offensive footing. 12 goals in the last 5 matches. You juxtapose that with just 8 in the first 8 of the season as we take a look at how these sides line up. First for manager Shavar Thomas and CT United, a 4-3-3. They make 2 personnel changes, including one on the back. The young Giovanni Corsetti, the academy product out of CT United's U19 side in MLS Next, will get his first career start. Within this 4-3-3, though, you take a look at the front 3. Monis, Dipolito, Barnabas Tanyi. That will be so crucial. Those rotations have been so crisp on that front 3. A lot of times you'll see Alex Monis drop deep into the midfield. He's the team's leader in chances created. He will really try to help spur this offense on by funneling things through Dipolito and Barnabas Tanyi, who has 5 goals in his last 5 appearances, including 2 braces in that span. Tanyi really coming on strong at the midpoint of the season for CT United. As for NYCFC2 and manager Matt Pilkington, they go with a 4-2-3-1. They make just 1 personnel change. It's Jonathan Lopez there on the back line. But what's crucial in this 4-2-3-1 is the pairing of Cooper Flax and Joe Sacchetti, who will wear the captain's armband tonight. That double pivot will help shield that back 4 of NYCFC, one that has had a tendency to give up a lot of goals this year, 22 to be exact. But the double pivot will be crucial because it will also help deny the midfield space. This is a Connecticut United team. They love to fly in transition. They really live in those transitional spaces, and how Pilkington's double pivot pairing of Flax and Sacchetti able to stymie them will be crucial tonight if NYCFC wants to make it unbeaten in 4. Jeremy Shear is our center referee at CT United in the light tops, NYCFC in the all-navy, and we are ready to go for this second ever meeting in series history. Jeremy Shear sounds the whistle. There is the opening kick. That ball is thumped all the way down, and that means we are underway here inside Reese Stadium on the campus of Yale. Broadcast team, Jake Griffith, glad to have you with us at NYCFC. Get their defense set, forcing a turnover there at the midfield. This is an NYCFC side coming in off the draw against Chattanooga FC. Ended up taking only 1 point from that contest. The boys in blue of Chattanooga winning the penalty shootout 5-4 last time out for Matt Pilkington.
Let's go, Pope!
Pilkington said earlier this week that he felt like as the game went on against Chattanooga FC, they really controlled things, had the lion's share of the possession. Felt like at the end of the game, they looked like the more dangerous team as they'll guide this back over to Brennan Klein under duress. And Klein's distribution deflected out by Barnabas Tanyi. Start to see why Barnabas Tanyi has 5 goals in his last 5 MLS Next Pro appearances. He's been wreaking havoc on the opposition these last few weeks. That really plays into a theme for CT United overall, not just number 7 in purple and black. But this team, in the words of their manager, Shavar Thomas, they feel like they've really turned a corner these last 5-6 weeks. He acknowledged at the start of the season that it's going to take some time. It's a new club, new management, a whole new roster of players that have never played together, really. It was going to take some time for CT United to learn how to play off one another, as NYCFC will drive this in behind, but the offside flag will come up. Shavar Thomas is right. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the 8 combined goals in the last 2 matches for Connecticut United. A 4-0 win against FC Cincinnati 2 is what the Coy Wolves come into this Friday night fixture on the heels of. We're gonna whistle our first from Jeremy Shear for a foul over on that far side of the pitch. Going back to CT United though, Shavar Thomas, he looked back earlier in the week as his side will have a free kick on that win against FC Cincinnati, and he said his biggest takeaway, the key component of this team this year, taking away time and space from the opposition, and he felt like they did that exceptionally well against the Garys, a team that Thomas knows very well, spent 4 seasons on the touchlines at FC Cincinnati too. Whipped ahead on the restart by Monas into a crowd, and Sebastiano Musu will get a piece of that with the head. Pigeons can't make anything happen with it though, and it will be a throw for CT United. Wayward ball will find the end line, and it will be a corner awarded to the home side. And this is something that CT United has started to find themselves in terms of their set-piece dominance. They don't give up a lot of set-piece goals this season. In fact, a bottom 5 team this year in set-piece goals conceded, starting though to put it together on the offensive side. Had a set-piece goal 2 matches ago against Toronto FC. In swinging ball. First contact made by NYCFC. Still pinballing around though, and ultimately knocked clear by the home side, rather the visitors, and the home side will have a throw in. Make it consecutive throw-ins for CT United. 3 wins in their last 5 as Jeremy Shear motioning Andre Applewhite forward. He will retake that throw in, promptly given back to him though by Barnabas Tanyi. CT United and NYCFC, they do share some commonality in their last 5 matches. Not just the fact that they both won 3 times in their last 5, but their only blemish in this recent 5-match form is against the Eastern Conference leaders, Columbus Crew. Albeit 2 vastly different performances. CT United a late goal in second half stoppage time to trim the deficit down to 1, ultimately a 2-1 defeat. It was NYCFC who jumped out all over Columbus, forcing the Capybaras to stage a furious comeback. They scored 3 goals in the second half. Klein guides this one laterally. NYCFC, though, having some real issues breaking down this defensive shape right now of Connecticut United, who comes up with it again in the midfield, and they'll cycle this back to Gunther Rankenberg, getting his 9th start in goal. Meanwhile, his opposition netminder, Brendan Klein, who will roll this back out, he gets his 5th start of the season in goal. Both men have played every single minute of their prior starts. Joao Loyola getting the start again on the back line for Matt Pilkington. A somewhat recent acquisition, was acquired in May on the loan. Came over from Fluminense. And has made a real impact for NYCFC, too. Scored in the Hudson River Derby a few weeks ago. That win against their arch rivals, Red Bull New York, really kicked off this turn of form for NYCFC. Drift out to a 3-0 lead, 2 late goals for Red Bull New York made that contest feel a lot closer than what it was. Here's Cooper Flax now with it. Flax will go forward, trying to find Adonis Campos. Campos was wrestled down And the protests from the Pigeons go unheard. Meanwhile, turned upfield, trying to pick out Daniel DiPolito. And now tumbling down is another Coy Wolf, and this will be a whistle from Jeremy Shear. Lacey stands over top of this one. Set to whip this in to a dangerous area. Second attacking half free kick. Connecticut United have earned so far, less than 10 minutes into this contest. Lacey boots this one. Out wide, it falls in front. And hammered over the bar by Lucas Camrath and out of play. Was Connecticut United the last time these teams saw each other at Belson Stadium back in April. CT United starting things off on the front foot. Laurie Goddard grabbed the opening goal. 2 goals in the second half for NYCFC. So one of a physical contest. There were 2 late red cards at Belson Stadium back in April. 76th minute, Connecticut United issued a red card. Alhaji Sam sent off for NYCFC in the 80th minute. Finishing that contest, both teams did down to 10 men. Lofted up ahead, in behind as well. Here is Musu on the turn. We got a whistle, though, for a stoppage. Sebastiano Musu, one of those aforementioned 2 second-half goals, came off his boots in that April matchup. Alhaji Sam getting the other. Booming ball upfield. Here's DiPolito looking for the touch around the defender. Danilo Ponsa able to knock that one out of play, however, and it will be a throw-in for CT United, courtesy of their captain, Alex Monis, deep in toward this final third. Monis electing to defer to the young Giovanni Corsetti. Corsetti wanted to tuck that inside. Telegraphed pass, though, and won back by New York City. Czechia had some issues with it. To come away unscathed, though, was NYCFC, at least for the moment, and they do turn it over. Lacey leading the way on this counterattack building, finding Applewhite. Here's Lacey again, turning, rolling this one in behind. Applewhite will chase it down on the near side. Cuts it back over, Lacey surveying laterally across the area. Monis tries to thread the needle, and instead it deflects back over to Ernesto Gomez. Now Lacey, near corner of the area. Coy Wolves electing to recycle this one over to Camrath. Back into the possession of Lacey. Wanted to go central with it again, and Cooper Flax is there, able to cancel that out. Matt Pilkington, he's been effusive in his praise throughout the season of the play of Cooper Flax. Been getting it done lately on the offensive side of things. Scored in 4 straight games, 6 goals in his last 6 matches. But Matt Pilkington earlier in the week took more of a tone in terms of Flax's defensive efforts. He just knows how to time those runs. Intercepted, though, by Tanyi. Here's Monis turning and firing that one into the shrubs behind goal. the areas that CT United has excelled in these last few weeks. Not just their pressing shape, not just their energy, and obviously stringing results together, but one of those benefits of the 4-3-3 shape is it allows you to create a lot of midfield overloads, and with that comes control of the tempo and the tenor of the contest. We're seeing that on display early on from CT United. That insistence on dominating that middle third space. A collision sends the NYCFC man down, and settling in on it is CT United. Burma's ball forward though, picked out by the Pigeons, and Sucheki sets it back up over to Campos. Jumping in front of that one is Lacey. Only wrestled down at the end of it, and now we get a late whistle from Jeremy Shear. Lacey was trying to help CT United get out in transition, and you see Matt Pilkington there at the bottom of your screen. None too thrilled with the whistle from our center referee. It'll set CT United up with a free kick right near this midfield stripe. Play back underway, lofted in behind. A little bit of confusion there for NYCFC on that back line, but Klein sees it in all the way. New York City wins themselves a whistle, trying to catch CT United sleeping with the quick restart, and Gunther Rankenberg is there. Had a chance to catch up with Gunther Rankenberg earlier in the week. The former Georgia State netminder spent a season in USL League One, rather 3 seasons in USL League One with Greenville Triumph, and talked a lot about bringing that wealth of experience over, but also about the relationship that's continuing to develop between the goalkeeper unit, the back line for CT United, who have possession of it now, and they'll peel it back over to the aforementioned Gunther Rankenberg. Rankenberg said that relationship is so crucial. It's been key to the success recently of this team. Here's Tanyi, peels this one back. Now Tanyi has a hit from distance, and it's pushed out by Klein. Barnabas Tanyi had his eyes on goal 7 of 2026, denied by Brennan Klein, and we stay scoreless. A corner coming. It's a good effort on a long ball whipped up ahead. Initial first touch is excellent from Tanyi. Second corner of the evening. Lacey will do the honors from the near flag. Lacey lofts this back stick, the heads go up, still free in front and whipped wide. CT United continuing to ask questions of this NYCFC side. Charging in over on that back post was Tanyi, who comes up a little lame at the end of that. You see him clutching his midsection. Glancing header along, we get a whistle for the mid-air collision. And it will be a free kick given to NYCFC.
Get on it, Pope.
Masito spins this one up the far touchline. Too heavy of a touch, though, from Drew Kerr. Coughs it up, and the counter quickly developing. The offside flag will come up, though. Daniel Dippolito in just too early. Couldn't snug that restraining line. However, the ideology has been on display early on for CT United. That desire to want to get out in transition, force turnovers, and live in that counter-attacking space. CT United Soccer is proudly supported by Yale New Haven Health, powering medical breakthroughs with the greatest of care. Turnover forced once more. The takeaway from Ernesto Gomez, finding Alex Monis, former New England Revolution man. This cross whipped in toward goal, diving header, inches away from Dippolito, and it ultimately trickles wide. It's a great service in, missing Dippolito's diving head by not much. Giovanni Corsetti continuing to shine early on in this contest. A big ask by having him start his first career match. A future Quinnipiac man, earning that recent academy call-up. It's been a point of this CT United organization who, long before they launched an MLS Next Pro, they launched an MLS Next side. They have made a real point these last few weeks to try to get those academy products more involved in the action. Meanwhile, driven out wide, here's Kerr. Kerr puts it in front, short clearance away, the rebound is in! Jonathan Lopez, have a day, and his first start of the year opens his account, and the Pigeons are flying 1-0. Not just a first of the season, but a first of a career for Jonathan Lopez, taking full advantage of the ricochet off the back of Lucas Camrath. Right place, right time. NYCFC out in front. And you see how much it means to the 18-year-old, now in his fourth year with NYCFC 2, immediately making a beeline for his coach. Matt Pilkington, throughout the year, he has said guys like a Jonathan Lopez, they put in so much hard work over the course of their career, has wanted to see them reward themselves more. Jonathan Lopez doing exactly that. Now CT United looking for the response. Here's Monis, he'll drive this in off the service. And coated well defensively by the visitors. There's David Duque, trying to navigate through space, had an opening, quickly closed off. Duque a little slow to get back to his feet. Excellently timed challenge, though, from Gomez, and now threaded through. Here's Barnabas Tanyi. Barnabas Tanyi goes wide. And now we get a whistle and a yellow card handed out after all is said and done. Barnabas Tanyi, he has had a few tasty looks at goal early on. That's one of those he'll go back and watch and want to have that one back. Former Detroit City FC man of USL Championship, though, continuing to lead the way for this CT United attack that has 4 shots, 5 touches in the opposition area. And yet they find themselves down early on, 1-0. Officially, Jonathan Lopez going into the book on that aforementioned yellow from Jeremy Shear, the first of this match. Lopez finding a way to stuff the stat sheet in short order. A goal 2 minutes later, grabs a yellow card. Now here is NYCFC back on the prowl. Flax leading the way. He'll get it right back on the left. Inside, Duque wants the layoff. Give and go back to Flax. Lopez via Sachecki. Kerr thought about the hit. CFC, they've had the lion's share of the possession, near 70% so far in this opening half. Trying to stand that cross up, the Pigeons were. It's intercepted though, and cleared all the way back down by the Koi Wolves. That is where Joao Loyola will lay it off to Brennan Klein. Loyola in behind, trying to find Musu running on the other end of it, and does. However, it's won back by CT United. Polito back to Applewhite, now Rankenberg feeling the heat. All those navy shirts of NYCFC. That would spill out of play and be a throw for the Pigeons, but pushed out at the last moment, and CT United will have the throw. CT United, one thing that they identified is Sebastiano Musu will be shown a whistle for that foul. One thing they identified coming into this match was they wanted to try to set the tempo early on, set the tone of this match. It's something that Barnabas Tanyi talked at length about earlier in the week, that idea of momentum, feeling like you're running downhill, no one can stop you. They did well for themselves to really set the tone and the tempo of this contest, finding ways to get in the penalty area, generating shot after shot to the tune of 5 of them. Despite 35% possession. They have not had that finishing touch so far, almost a half hour in. And that is something that their manager, Shavar Thomas, has harped on a lot this season. It's not just enough to generate the chances, you also have to finish them as well. It felt like coming into this match week that they had turned a corner in that regard, but some struggles right now converting these chances into goals. So the layoff over to Lopez, who plays it through. Kerr now on the move, cuts it central, falling all the way through to Campos. In front, it's Flax, over the bar and out. Cooper Flax very nearly lining this one up. A seeing eye ball rolling all the way through. And Flax just fires it over the woodwork and out of play. Here's Lacey. Funnel that one back ahead to Barnabas Tanyi. Instead, deflected over, worked on to Applewhite, and Lacey inside. Corsetti back to Gomez. There's a deflection off an NYCFC defender. There is a collision. The Pigeons were trying to break out from their own end, and they will be the beneficiaries of a whistle from our center referee.
Let's go United!
Experience the future of gaming with Fine, the first free gaming platform built for your smart TV. No console downloads or subscriptions required. Launching soon on Samsung and LG smart TVs. Contingent of NYCFC fans making the trip here to New Haven, Connecticut, making their presence known here on the road. And it is NYCFC finding themselves in the lead. 20th minute, Jonathan Lopez, first of his career. Rolled in behind, in toward goal, it's Dipolito, the cutback is in! Check the watch, it's Tanyi time in Connecticut. 6 goals in his last 6 appearances, all square. This is a great ball forward, finding Dipolito. And just the presence of mind to cut it back. Brennan Klein overcommitting on the near post. No one marking Tanyi. And Barnabas Tanyi sending the fans on their feet in Connecticut. He has become a real force to be reckoned with in MLS Next Pro. And that goal putting him just 3 back now in 2026 of the Golden Boot lead. Two of those 3 players atop that Golden Boot race residing in the Eastern Conference. Maria Kovac in Atlanta, Zach Zenge in Columbus. Barnabas Tanyi starting to force his way into that conversation and putting Connecticut United on the board. Good link up of play here. Tumbling down was Ponsa looking for a whistle. Play continues on without it. Cito gave it up over to Loyola. Now Flax will move this one forward. Comes to rest on the feet of Drew Kerr, knocked out of play, and NYCFC will have a throw in. This first 45 minutes, or at least this first half hour as we come up on the 30th minute, here in New Haven. It has lived up to expectations based on the recent form for these teams. A lot of offense, a lot of chances, and CT United finally putting one away. Turned over again by NYCFC, and the Coy Wolves of Connecticut United will return the favor. That is starting to become a bit of a trend, though, in this opening half for NYCFC. They haven't been able to consistently move out of this defensive half when building from the back, and more often than not, it's ending in turnovers, allowing Connecticut to get in transition. Lacey will knock that one out, and Adonis Campos will throw it back in. Kerr was looking to move that one forward for NYCFC. No one on the receiving end, and now Rankenberg will distribute it ahead. Coming up with that interception is Adonis Campos, a player that Matt Pilkington made a point to highlight in our midweek conversation. Kind of a player who's very growing, has a very high ceiling in this organization. They're seeing a lot of development take place for him, and they've been very pleased, in the words of Pilkington, with his development throughout the season. 82 in Navy there in the center of your screen. I mentioned it's been a big year for him on and off the field, finishing up high school all while showcasing in now 10 MLS Next Pro matches, 9 of which he started, including tonight's start and appearance. They find him on the near side. Acito, the former Duke Blue Devil. He'll get it back. NYCFC didn't like their options going ahead. Ponsa under some pressure, dancing through defenders and connecting with Loyola. Had that diagonal ball back wide. No one there for NYCFC. Acito will step up. Loyola goes lateral with it. Acito now working it up to that far side. Pigeon's trying to move quickly with it, cleaning it up as Adonis Campos racing over. Trying to feed him again, running right into 2 defenders, and the counter is on for CT United. Polito was in an offside position, had to let that ball go. And Campos will track it down. Booted forward, long ball ahead. They're just getting a piece of that to knock it away. Otherwise, Sebastiano Musu would have been in. Rankenberg gives it up. Here's Lucas Camrath, the Florida native, former high point man of the collegiate level. We'll get it back.
Go, go, go!
Ball finds its way over to Lacey, who stops on a dime. Now Lacey will roll it ahead out of the reach, though, with Alex Monis. Pigeons trying to find the switch, looking for Ponsa up ahead.
Get up!
He goes down.
Stop diving!
It's a standalone matchup in MLS Next Pro this evening, but it is a busy, busy week, all starting tomorrow. 5 matches, including a big one in the Eastern Conference as we get a whistle. Atlanta United will host Crown Legacy. Top of the table clash in the Eastern Conference. At least in terms of that top 8. Crown Legacy, although they have fallen off in their form, just 2-2-1 in their last 5 games, still hanging tough there, right behind the pace of Columbus Crew. 30 points, just 2 off the Eastern Conference lead. Atlanta United, meanwhile, finding themselves in 7th position in the East. So on the CFC side, they occupy the last spot in that playoff conversation in the Eastern Conference, currently 8th. But if you're CT United, a big opportunity today for points. CT United just 3 points off the pace of NYCFC and Toronto FC, who are tied points-wise for what would be that final playoff spot if the playoffs were to start today. Still plenty of time, though, to go in the MLS Next Pro season. However, it is never a bad idea to start having that eye toward the future of what the playoff picture could look like in the East. Racing up ahead with it, here is NYCFC, looking for that ball in from Sebastiano Musu from Jonathan Lopez, and it's knocked out of play for a Pigeons throw. Lofted out wide. Musu. Trying to clip that one along. Let's take a deflection. It'll roll out of play for a Gunther Rankenberg goal kick. Gunther Rankenberg, I thought it was so interesting in our chat earlier in the week as CT United will build out from the back. He said that he tries to approach the game the same way as keepers like a David Raya, especially from that mental side of the game, trying to find ways to always stay locked in, be there when the team needs him the most. Boma, the defender, got the lines wrong, and now this allows NYCFC to jump on a counter. Kerr across the face of goal, put back in, and there is Rankenberg able to deflect it away. That is precisely what Rankenberg was referring to earlier in the week, of no matter which direction the play is going, always being attentive, always staying locked in. And this back line of CT United, they acknowledged earlier in the week that there have been moments where they've really suppressed the opposition simply with how much they're overwhelming them with offense, where you get a lot of traffic on this end for long spells of play, and that can be hard for a keeper to stay locked in, stay engaged, stay warm, so to speak, as we get a whistle from Jeremy Shear. Rankenberg, he's really made the most of his opportunities in net. Start of the year, split time with Anthony Ramos in goal, but Rankenberg has played the majority of the minutes in these last few matches, 720 coming into tonight, 2 clean sheets. DiPolito applying the pressure there on Joao Loyola. NYCFC will ultimately turn that one upfield, reclaimed by CT United. Trying to go vertical with it again. A mixed bag of success so far in this opening half. And that time, NYCFC all over it defensively. Pigeons find the open man at Jonathan Lopez. He'll roll it forward over to Drew Kerr. The first overall pick in the Super Draft 3 years ago. Now the holdup. Duque, edge of the area, finds Musu, tucked back inside, still not clear. And Rankenberg is going to make the straightaway save. CFC, they have not spent an abundance of time in the final third, despite having 65% possession. A lot of it has been playing it between the center backs and Brennan Klein, their keeper, as this one will go out for a throw. But when they have had those forays into that final third, they've had some excellent combinations and link-ups in and around the area. Monas drive this up ahead. We get a whistle from Jeremy Shear again, who
disagree with that call,
he's been a busy man in this opening half. Up to 13 combined fouls between these two foes from the Northeast.
Don't worry about you.
These two teams, well, they may be somewhat unfamiliar with each other. It's just the second all-time meeting. They are two of a three-team derby, so to speak. They call it the Tri-State Cup. Referencing Red Bull New York, CT United, and NYCFC. Trying to add that extra flavor to perhaps a budding rivalry in MLS Next Pro. Jumping on that one is Giovanni Corsetti, the New York native. Pigeons back in control, though. Campos started things off. Now here's Musu looking forward. Trying to find Campos again on the give and go, and ultimately spilling across the end line. Not much doing there for NYCFC. And of note, Adonis Campos has yet to make his way back to his feet. Has to get a hand from Jeremy Shear.
Go ask your parents.
Inching closer to the halftime whistle from our center referee as Rankenberg puts it back into play. A plenty busy halftime report coming up once we get that whistle from Jeremy Shear. Transitioning into the attack again, they find Tanyi, and it's stopped by Brendan Klein. Two saves in this opening 45 minutes for Klein, matching the output of Gunther Rankenberg. It's highlights, upcoming schedule. And we head out to Grand Rapids. That all coming up on our halftime report. First, though, we have to get to that halftime whistle. Still plenty of action remaining in this opening 45 minutes. NYCFC looking to add to their tally. They're on the move. Finding Kerr. Duque slips it through. It's Musu off the woodwork. The rebound stopped. Third effort won't go in. Out for a corner, and NYCFC can't believe it. First, the dummy from David Duque. Able to find Musu, whose effort goes off the bar. Second effort from Lopez, stopped by Rankenberg. And a third bite of the apple goes ricocheting out of play for a Pigeons corner. 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first 45. A chance for NYCFC off a set piece to go back in front. They've scored twice off corners this year. It'll be Flax set to trigger this end. Flax lofts this top of the area for the training ground routine. Balling around in front, Saccheki's effort won't make its way through. Helped back along to Kerr via Flax, headed away. Still not clear by CT United. Here's Flax again, finding Duque back in front. Musu toward goal, finds its way through! In the dying embers of the opening 45, Sebastiano Musu makes it 2 goals in 2 matches against CT United, and the Pigeons lead. You could feel all that momentum building for NYCFC. Coy Wolves just couldn't clear the lines. And after a flurry of opportunities, Sebastiano Musu uncorking one and sending NYCFC into the half with the lead. That Pilkington, he said this week that Sebastiano Musu, he's a guy that brings experience, but most importantly, he brings a goal-scoring threat to that front line, scoring in first half stoppage time to nab his 4th of the season. NYCFC, after what was a back end of the first half that controlled tonally by CT United. Pigeons able to grab a goal late just before the halftime whistle, which we received from Jeremy Shear. NYCFC leads it on the road 2-1 at the half. Coming up in our halftime show, we look ahead for a new club in Long Island, plus highlights and our upcoming schedule. All of this after this timeout.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the city of angels to the heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields. Let's go. And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing belief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Welcome back to Connecticut. We visited with Grand Rapids last weekend. Now we head to the Northeast and check in with another future club, the Island FC.
Fans, let's welcome our great
the opportunity to build a professional soccer club in Long Island, you know, to me is really unique. Number one, because I'm from New York, I'm from Queens. It's a community that I'm very familiar with, that I resonate with. Long Island has a tremendous source of pride that only Long Islanders know and feel. To do this in a place where there is such a rich soccer history, you know, on the youth end, professionally, is also unique. You know, we're not just launching a soccer club, we're launching a culture, we're launching a community space, we're launching a brand and a team that will make Long Island proud. The Island FC will represent, you know, not just what's happening on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And you know, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that we certainly give more than we take, and that's in all parts of the organization and the club.
I came to Long Island 40 years ago now and created the very first professional coaching organization, and out of that has grown this tremendous industry of viral coaching, super clubs and companies, and this is really an end result for that. It's an opportunity through the Island FC to act as an embracing organization that really brings the island together in a significant way and propels male and female soccer to the top. This is bringing professional soccer right to the heart of Long Island, and it makes that dream a reality. They will see young Long Island players coming through and playing pro here with the Island FC and representing Long Island on that international stage.
The biggest sporting event in the world is embracing two ideas that started here. One designed to keep the game moving, another designed to better protect the players within it. Both were first tested in MLS Next Pro.
The league launched in 2022, but prior to that, there were 4 pillars that we came around, really rallied around, where we wanted to build and drive growth. Those 4 pillars were professional development, local communities, access, and innovation. The game has been around for over 100 years, but for the most part, a lot of the rules have stayed the same, but the game has evolved so much, particularly over the last 30 years.
MLS Next Pro has been a really good proving ground for a lot of these new rules that they're bringing into effect. The players in the competition have been very open to trying out new things. We've seen some really, really good developments, and a lot of the things that have been trialed in that competition have been elevated to MLS, and now we're seeing elevated to the FIFA level as well. This was something that it was easy for them to get their heads around. But I was pleasantly surprised to see them take this on in a format that's very, very similar to what we've been doing already.
Ideas don't become rules overnight. Changing the game meant bringing people together from every corner of the sport.
I think it took a lot of courage for us to implement some of the new rules, but we knew that if we did it in an authentic way and we got information from so many different stakeholders and parts of the game, that we could do it in a safe way that would help players, would help administrators and coaches, and really would be good for the sport.
Eventually, the conversation moved from meeting rooms to match day.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the first game ever with this in MLS Next Pro in 2022, where we got an email. We had to join a webinar where we had to go over these rules, and there was a great understanding of how this was going to go and overview about these 2 specific rules that we're going to have implemented more specifically for MLS Next Pro. So I really thought the on-field treatment rule was an awesome implementation, because that's something that we deal with a ton as referees. It's something that causes friction, always causes issues for game management when you have players going down for injuries and calling a trainer on when it's not necessarily a serious injury. So I knew initially that was going to be a fantastic one, that was going to be helping our game improvement. And then the substitution rule we knew was also going to be one of the ones that was going to help. So I was really looking forward to doing that one and implementing that, because it's something that's game management we have to deal with.
The expectation was that there would be an adjustment period, maybe even resistance. Nobody knew how the players would respond once the whistle blew.
Players bought into it really quickly, and it was something that the entire league was able to understand it, and really you saw buy-in from everybody, and it was just really easily implemented at MLS Next Pro, and really didn't see much pushback. The biggest thing that I've seen is where players are smart enough to know if they leave the field voluntarily with our permission, they don't have to wait a minute. So if they're near the sideline or the end line or something where they say, hey ref, I just need a minute, I'm going to go off, perfect. They can go off and get whatever treatment they need to, and they know they don't have to wait the minute. You're getting your treatment that you have. You're not implementing any of the on-field treatment rules or anything. You're just taking yourself out of it for a second. So that's where players are really coming smart to how they handle things. And then for the substitution rule, I've seen several times where I would talk to a captain and I tell him the player has to come off, and he's not. And you see a captain or a teammate pushing that player off the field, because they know that if you're not off in that 10 seconds, they don't want to play for 10 at the disadvantage that they would have.
The changes on field were obvious, and the numbers told the same story.
The data was really compelling. If you look at the numbers before the rule was implemented, on average, for those stoppages associated with injuries that are 15 seconds or more, you really were looking at stoppages in games that were 5 to 6 times per game. Once we implemented the new rules, that number went down to between 1 and 1.5 times per game. And so the data was very, very compelling that when you implemented a rule like this, it really would reduce those preventable match delays, and that was really exciting for us. But when you do the analysis in terms of number of fouls and yellow cards and red cards and some of those metrics, we found that those remain consistent whether the rule was in place or not, and that was a positive dynamic for us. And it's one of the key indicators that the rule's working.
The experiment was working in MLS Next Pro and was brought to MLS 2 years later. That success pushed these ideas to the biggest stage in the game.
It's amazing that every single law change that comes into play comes from some competition or some situation that happened at maybe it was UEFA Champions League final, or maybe it was another World Cup that inspired a rule change. So to have from our own competition, coming from North America, to have a rule change come into play for me, it's special because I've been there from the very beginning. I've helped implement this from a management standpoint, so I'm excited to see how it's going to be implemented on the world stage by competitions, by referees, and by teams from around the world.
For the people who helped build it, the impact is still sinking in.
You never really understand the impact that you might have on the sport. And so to be part of MLS Next Pro and to be part of this process and leading this process as it relates to new rules and innovation has been a real shining star for me as it relates to my career. I'm just super excited and proud and grateful to be part of the process. I can't wait for the games to happen in the World Cup and to see them. These are important new rules for the growth of the game, so it's extremely rewarding, and I can't articulate how happy and proud I am.
MLS Next Pro continuing to find ways to impact the world stage, and that's not the only way. In addition to the rules influences at this summer's FIFA World Cup, 105 players at the tournament have spent time with an MLS club. 44 of these players developed through the MLS player pathway, and of those 44, 19 spent time right here in MLS Next Pro. Fans can get a closer look at this historic group by heading to MLSNextPro.com. Well, speaking of MLS Next Pro, we are back in Connecticut. It is halftime in this match week 17 fixture between CT United and NYC FC2, who leads it 2-1 through 45 minutes of play. But that's not the only action that has been underway around the league as we get a chance to look at our recent scores in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia Union, Orlando City B taking on each other. Red Bull New York 2 taking down Toronto FC in a resounding way. And Columbus Crew using that 3-2 win against Atlanta United to surge to the top of the Eastern Conference table. The Capybaras back in familiar territory, a team that has tasted MLS Next Pro glory. They've won the Eastern Conference multiple times in club history, and they are back in the catbird seat. As for the upcoming schedule, Atlanta United 2 taking on Crown Legacy, a nice rivalry there between those organizations, Charlotte FC and Atlanta United, and Atlanta United a chance to unseat Crown Legacy and perhaps move up the Eastern Conference table. The New England Revolution on Sunday will get Toronto FC, the Revs of New England Revolution. They're 3-1-1 in their last 5 games. Look out for Pablo Moreira's bunch. As for our contest, let's get you caught up to speed with our first half highlights, and boy, were there plenty of highlights. These two dynamic offenses going blow for blow in the opening 45 minutes. Shot after shot turned away, but the rebound falling in front right to Jonathan Lopez, hammering home that rebound. That made it 1-0 in the 20th minute. Then 9 minutes later, the cutback over to Barnabas Tanyi. He's now scored in back-to-back matches. That made it 1-1, but rather just before the halftime whistle, Sebastiano Musu taking full advantage of the feed from Drew Kerr, slotting it past Gunther Rankenberg, and moments later we got the halftime whistle. That's where we stand through 45. We'll head back to break when we return. The opening kick of half number 2.
Yeah. Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
It is go time in Connecticut. We are back underway for half number 2 between CT United and NYC FC2. The visitors leading it 2-1 through 45 minutes of play. One change at the half, and it rests with NYC FC. El Hadji Sam, who had a goal in the second half against CT United back in April. He is on in place of Drew Kerr.
Good, buddy. Orange and blue.
Back in possession, at least momentarily, is CT United. They had a number of ventures into the final third that were courtesy of that counterattack, one that is so vaunted for CT United. Scored 9 of their 24 goals in counterattacking moments in 2026. There's a trend that NYCFC will try to remedy here in half number 2, the amount of giveaways in their half of the pitch.
Here comes the police. Hands up.
Hey.
Hey, guys. What? Joshua.
Nice, buddy.
Cito takes the feed from Brennan Klein. Real issues, though, here for NYCFC. Just no space to move. United, they've come out in this 3-2 pressing shape throughout this contest. In large junctures, it has confounded NYCFC. Despite that, though, they have found ways at times to break through. And they do have that narrow 1-goal lead.
Gabriel, what's your email?
Klein goes vertical with it, just trying to give NYCFC some breathing room, and they are successful in that regard. A throw will be the result of it. Back in, and now it will be a throw, although a change of possession will go in favor of CT United. I mentioned during our halftime report the amount of MLS Next Pro representation at this year's FIFA World Cup. More on that in a moment. On the move is NYCFC. Ponsa out wide. Ponsa resets. It's bunching up just a little bit. Now New York City will go back to Joao Loyola. Duque over to Musu, one of 2 goal scorers in that opening half for NYCFC. Heavy collision, and now Lacey walks over, and there's some bad blood here.
Boy, look at that. Look at that recovery. No one
Dylan
believes
Lacey
you,
taking
53.
real exception to Joao Loyola, sprawled on the pitch, walked over, told him to get up. And Lacey ultimately shown a yellow for that. A second yellow in this contest handed out. Both teams have been booked. Lopez, minutes after grabbing his goal in the first half, was handed a card by Jeremy Shear. And now joining him in the book is Dylan Lacey, the New York native. All things squared away by Jeremy Shear. You have to give a tip of the cap to our center referee. That could have gotten out of control very fast. Play is back underway. They find Lopez over on the left. Driving in, ricocheted over to Flax, cuts it inside. Left off for Sachecki, who goes back ahead with it to Cooper Flax. That ball dislodged, a near giveaway by the Pigeons. Alhaji Sam still with it though. He goes in line, lofts it in. And Rankenberg will cut that cross off. Man down for CT United. Physicality was evident in the opening 45 minutes. 14 combined fouls, but there's been some crunching challenges since the clock rolled over to the second 45. It has definitely gone up a notch as this contest inches closer to the final whistle. It's such a tight game so far. Early ball in, trying to find Tanya running onto it. Almost does exactly that. Knocked away at the last minute by Cameron Acito. Off the near touchline they go, springing Alhaji Sam free. He'll drive it forward. Musu, though, couldn't hug that restraining line, and the offside flag is up. NYCFC side coming into this contest felt like that they could try to at least take advantage of was a small tendency of CT United jumping at times, trying to be advantageous, jumping those passing lanes. But if you gamble and you get it wrong, that leaves space in behind. They've not done that today, at least when NYCFC try to build, try to get vertical. In fact, CT United playing a bit of a higher line tactically. It's been able to catch NYCFC offside on a number of occasions. Open centrally is David Duque. Plenty of space to move. Leads the way in, it's Alhaji Sam. Sam shuffles, Sam going for goal. First effort doesn't make its way through. Duque able to pick the pieces up though for NYCFC. Now Lopez ahead, finds Musu inside to Ponsa. Musu goes down, an official wags the finger and says no foul. CFC though moving very quickly. Off the throw in, Sam swims past one defender. He pleads for a whistle, won't get it, and now there is that whistle, but it goes against NYCFC. Now the man impeded back behind the player, Ernesto Gomez, stays down on his field turf surface. Trainers came on, Jeremy Shear ushering them off, and Gomez is back to his feet. CT United prepping two changes, their first two of the evening. Jeremy Medranda, the CT United U19er, will come on. 8th appearance of the year, and he is flanked by Laurie Goddard. A double change for manager Shavar Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the game for CT United, number 44, Jeremy Medranda.
Shavar Thomas hoping that bringing Laurie Goddard on, a man who scored last time against NYCFC, will breathe some new life into the attack. Clearance goes deflecting off an NYCFC defender, and now turned upfield. El Hadji Sam running onto it. Sam wants the early ball, turned away, and it falls back to him. Throw in for CT United. CT United Soccer is proudly supported by Yale New Haven Health, powering medical breakthroughs with the greatest of care. Jumping in front of that one is NYCFC and Sebastiano Musu. Good recovery defensively though by CT United, able to get back on the ball. Here's Medranda. Lacey. Just laces through that one and lifts it upfield. Gomez, late arriving run, Lacey on the slip through. No one able to corral it in for the Coy Wolves. And now here is NYCFC. This action has been end to end in this second half. Sam cuts it over to Cooper Flax. That NYCFC touchline telling the Pigeons, switch it. This has been a defensive block that, especially when sitting in that mid block, can cause so much congestion presented by CT United. One of the best ways to break that congestion down, soften it up, just keep moving that ball side to side. Duque sits down on the turf, grabs at the back of his left leg, and that will draw a whistle from Jeremy Shear. Trainers will come on. Contest has screeched to a halt due to the knock to David Duque. Former NYCFC Academy man, the 19-year-old is, spent time with the U17s. 9th appearance of the year. As he looks for a hand from trainers and teammates to get back to his feet.
I want a pickle. Could I have a pickle? Everybody wants a pickle now. I want a pickle. I want a pickle. Could I have my
Okay, back to his feet. He will make the long trot over to the Pigeons touchlines, but unable to continue on. And that forces Matt Pilkington to make his second change of the night. James Bilden, 3rd appearance of the year for the 16-year-old. On to spell the injured David Duque. Play is back underway off the injury stoppages. We come up on the hour mark elapsed here in New Haven, Connecticut. Pigeons scored the opener. Connecticut United responded, and then NYCFC grabbed a goal in first half stoppage time. Goal in 45+2 from Sebastiano Musi, the difference maker. Ahead, El Hadji Sam underneath it. To Flax. Musu now. Lopez off the switch. nifty move from Sebastiano Musu, able to create space. And equally nifty from Camilo Ponsa, trying to peel that back, and will reward NYCFC with a free kick. It'll be Cooper Flax shadowing over this one. This one from some distance out, but don't count Cooper Flax out. He has shown the ability this year to hit these on free kicks from significant distance. Did so in the Hudson River Derby a few weeks back. Elects to just touch that one up, play underway, coated well defensively by CT United. And the visitors will reset things back to Brendan Klein. Former Boston College Eagle is the 24-year-old from Arizona. A real fine performance in net for NYCFC. Handful of saves in the opening 45 minutes. Change of possession occurs via that throw in right there. Off the Pigeons' turnover. Bilden forcing his way past Michael Boma. Lopez steps in front of the long ball forward. Lopez kind of corralled that ball in, went tumbling down, pleading with the official for a whistle. Won't get one though, and the captain Monis will have the throw in. Monis making his 73rd career MLS Next Pro appearance tonight. Looking for the service in via Madronda. And his cross blocked away. Out it goes for a throw. It'll be Monis again as the crowd here in New Haven, a lively and energetic bunch, watches on. So Checky makes first contact, not clear yet. Flax will thump it along. That's where Lucas Kamrath will collect and go back to Gunther Rankenberg, rather. Lacey gives it up. Lacey is carrying a yellow here in this second half. Lofted forward, Monis puts it in front, knocked down. City trying to clear, and they are unsuccessful in that regard. Monis will take possession of it over on this near side. Madronda looking to collect that ball. El Hadji Sam went in. And the Coy Wolves protests go unheard as Jeremy Shear puts his arms out and ushers to CT United. This may just be matchup number 2 in series history. It definitely has that vibe, that feeling of these contests that circle on the calendar if you're these two organizations. As we heard from Long Island during the half as well, adding another flavor to this potential 4-team rivalry once the Island FC joins the fold of MLS Next Pro. Under duress here is Brendan Klein. Too casual with it, nearly gave it up. Real danger territory for NYCFC. They spent a lot of time pinned back deep, and that time will continue. Countering are the Coy Wolves. Navigating through traffic, it's Laurie Goddard ahead. Trying to connect with Lacey, just not on the same page. Connecticut United, they've had real ideas when getting into the final third and getting into the attacking half. They've just been unable to express those ideas fully. not an abundance of possession. That is somewhat in keeping with who they are as a club. Came in 23rd out of 30 MLS Next Pro teams in terms of average possession this season, but number hovering right around 30% in this contest for the home side. To imagine that Shavar Thomas would want maybe just a little more share of the ball. They win it back here. Back in stride, out wide, put in front. Goddard can't redirect it. And out it goes again. It's been a real issue for CT United so far this evening. Just 2 successful crosses. Back to that, what I said a minute ago, of them having ideas when in the attacking half, but not able to fully express themselves. That's part of the issue. They've been able to have numbers running in toward goal. They've been able to put bodies in the penalty area. They just have not been able to connect on the other end of those dangerous balls whipped in front of goal. Nico Colinaris, CT United Academy man. He is knocked down and we get another whistle. Ball threaded ahead. Trying to find Monis, ends up deflecting off of the captain. A fortuitous turn of events for NYCFC. Experience the future of gaming with Find, the first free gaming platform built for your smart TV. No console downloads or subscriptions required. Launching soon on Samsung and LG smart TVs. Lopez dodges one would-be tackle. He's had quite the evening for NYCFC. And that continues, winning a whistle for the Pigeons, and it will be a free kick. Taken right in front of NYCFC's manager, Matt Pilkington. The only coach this NYCFC 2 side has ever known in their club's history. And he's been a consistent face in this organization. Talked a lot this week about how much he loves player development. He's a Haji Sam, no choice but to watch that roll out. Has been a bit of a season of change this year for NYCFC. You look at the roster makeup, guys like Maximo Carrizo, Johnny Shore, not consistent faces. Max Murray spending the lion's share of time at the first team. NYCFC side continuing to find a way. Tucked back inside, it's Ponza, lines it up, oh, what a goal! Camilo Ponza, 2 unanswered for NYCFC. They are rolling on the road, 3-1. It's a good feed from Sebastiano Musu, now a 2-goal involvement night. And that is just a phenomenal finish for Camilo Ponza. They're dancing in New Haven, and for good reason. It has been all New York City Football Club this evening. This has been the effort that Matt Pilkington and his NYCFC 2 coaching staff were looking to find on the road. They have themselves in prime position for their first 4-match unbeaten run since June 6th through July 16th of last year. Just about 20 minutes away from making it 3 wins in their last 4 matches. As you look at the Eastern Conference table, if this result does indeed hold for the visitors, back down the hatches, so to speak, here, at least for the moment, as CT United in possession now. Driven ahead. That is where Brendan Klein will collect. It would vault NYCFC over Atlanta United at just a point off the pace of Chattanooga FC in 6th. So Matt Pilkington's bunch inching closer toward that top half of the table. Musu, lovely ball forward. Finds Camilo Ponce, cuts back inside. Ponce out wide. El Hadji Sam in front to tap in, 4-1. From NYCFC with love. Sebastiano Musu, a brace. A good find here from El Hadji Sam, just across the face of goal. Initially, Bilden couldn't get on it, but unmarked, flying in, was Sebastiano Musu. They have continued to pour in goals these last few matches. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. 12 goals scored in their previous 5 coming into tonight, bringing their total to now 16 in 6 matches. This was an NYCFC attack that in the first 8 matches of the year had just 8 goals. We're struggling to put balls in the back of the net as 2 more changes for Shavar Thomas will come on. Hyven Kwanong and Sean Petrie, the former Real Monarchs man.
NYCFC goal scored in the 70th minute, and the second of the game scored by number 81.
Goals 2 minutes apart for NYCFC. From Ponce in the 68th, Musu getting his brace in the 70th. Keep in mind, this was a contest that was 1-1 heading into first half stoppage time. Now 3 unanswered since the 29th minute equalizer from CT United. Here's Lacey. He grabbed a goal, but his evening is done. Barnabas Tanyi coming off. Mentioned Hyven Kwanong coming on, 9th appearance of the year. Sean Petrie making his 2nd appearance of the year. Coming on for the Academy product, Nico Colinaris. Monas now to the aforementioned Petrie. Lofted in behind, Kwanong running onto it, now hacks it toward goal. And that'll go ricocheting out of play. Ricocheted out of play on the ball forward from NYCFC. Monas will have the throw for CT United. You can see some of it, that frustration on the faces of this Connecticut United side. First half, at least until they got into first half stoppage time, it was a real strong effort. Yes, they went down a goal somewhat early on. They found a way to fight back. They were really in control of the contest. NYCFC has just wrestled it away time and again from this home side. Deflected out, it'll be a corner for the Coy Wolves. First corner of the second half for either team. Third of the night for CT United. In swinging ball, headed around. It'll fall out the other side. Results in a CT United throw in. Long toss into the penalty area, knocked down in front, pushed wide. Knocked out of play by Brennan Klein. Got a fingertip to that one. Save number 3 on the night for Brennan Klein. It does concede the second corner in less than 60 seconds to CT United. And Ernesto Rodriguez will have this. Rodriguez. Heads go up, first to it is NYCFC, and there's a whistle inside the penalty area. The last time these teams met in April, CT United, even though they did fall due to 2 second-half goals from NYCFC, who are under a load of pressure right now, have to get rid of it. And they do exactly that. CT United, they did have their opportunities the last time these teams met each other in the second half. Rory Goddard ended up having a breakaway in the 76th minute. His would-be equalizer saved by Mac Learned, who started that contest. Barnabas Tanyi had an effort from inside the penalty area, really inside the 6-yard box in 90+2, but ended up getting blocked out of play. Bit of a different story in the second matchup of 2026. CT United still trying to reassert themselves here in this second half. And now they do have it off the turnover. Lacey spurring this one on.
Yo, don't mess with me, bro.
Gomez ahead, finds Monis. Monis wants the cross, blocked away by Alhaji Sam.
All right, go sit down. Sit. Everyone else is trying to watch. No, clearly not. And that's not even like a metaphor.
Long throw-in loading here for the home side. Monis chucks it in. Second effort deflected toward goal. Now third ball helped along here by Camrath. Monis over to Lacey. Too heavy of a touch. And now Sean Petrie whistled for a foul, and it'll be more. A yellow handed out. Well, Petrie, the second half substitute, perhaps not the kind of impact he was hoping to have on one of his first actions of this contest. Shown a yellow. Meanwhile, CT United, they will make their final change. Oh, Paixão, the Brazilian, will come on. Spent some time across 3 seasons in the Brazilian First Division, with Vasco da Gama acquired in December and now making his 12th appearance for the club in 2026. Connecticut United, they came into this contest, did not have the services of Robbie Mora, Steven Serwada, Ibrahim Kasule. Mora tied for the team lead in assists. Also, one of their leaders in chances created, does it on the defensive side as well. And you can tell they've absolutely missed that creativity of Robbie Mora. He helps take some of that pressure off that front line, the front 3 we highlighted at the top of our broadcast. Those rotations, their ability to drop in, play off one another. Ball took a deflection across the end line the opposite way, and Cooper Flax will take his time to get this spotted for NYCFC's first corner of half number 2.
United, number 9,
Go the short route. Now Flax will drive this out wide, and that overhit out of play. Whipped ahead by CT United. Knocked away, though, by the defense of NYCFC. The biggest things that Matt Pilkington said coming into this contest that he's noticed in terms of a positive change with this Pigeon side, it's just been the consistency of availability. It's part of the life of a second-team environment that you have players in and out of your environment, be it guys going up to first-team training and what have you, something that the independent teams like a CT United have, call it the luxury of not dealing with, although it is a good problem to have if you're a second team branching off of an MLS organization, as CT United. And Dylan Lacey will whip this ahead. Dropping this into a crowd, knotted down, but promptly knocked away. And here is Lopez. As it swiped off his boots. Out it goes for a Coy Wolves throw in. But Matt Pilkington, he did say, as we will get another yellow here, and if this is shown to Jonathan Lopez, that is his second. Lopez was shown a yellow in the first half, keep in mind, and it is against Jonathan Lopez. What was a night to remember turning into a night to forget for Lopez. NYCFC will play down a man for the final 8 minutes. Sebastiano Musu asking for an explanation from center referee Jeremy Shear. The point of contention in all of that was NYCFC were adamant it was their throw. It was ruled a CT United throw. Lopez tossed it back in, and he gets shown yellow. Cooper Flax also shown a yellow at one point during the melee of that, and meanwhile play is back underway. For the second consecutive meeting between these teams, a late red card. Last time was marked by 2 late red cards, one for either side. That means Jonathan Lopez will miss NYCFC's next match at Crown Legacy. Meanwhile, CT United, they'll whip this across the face of goal. Monis will watch it fly out the other side, as will El Hadji Sam. Going back to NYCFC, and that conversation with Matt Pilkington, with MLS being in the World Cup break, a collective bargaining agreement mandated break for players on first-team contracts. They have been able to take advantage of the luxury of consistency of availability. And you see, when this NYCFC side is able to put out the same lineup or a similar lineup that made just one change coming into tonight's contest, it pays dividends. Meanwhile, NYCFC will make another change. Owen Martin will come on. El Hadji Sam will come off for NYCFC. Bilden stuck in, as is Martin, pinned deep in that corner. Goddard trying to straddle the stripe and just can't do that. Aside from the goal conceded in the 28th minute, Brennan Klein, who puts this ball deep down the pitch and gets play back underway, has played a solid contest so far, completing 86% of his passes. And a few strong recoveries as well in net for NYCFC, and has made 3 saves in this contest. Still facing the brunt of the Coy Wolves' pressure, though. Lacey gives it up. Petrie. Kwanong. To Monis. Cuts it inside. Paisho. Paisho directing traffic. They find Kwanong on the right. Puts the shoulder down. Wants to go inside. And instead, thumped out of play by Joe Sacecki. It'll be another corner for Connecticut United. They've had no shortage of set-piece opportunities. This one, the 5th of the night. It'll be the 3rd of the second half. Gomez lofts this into the chaos in front of Klein, headed out. Consecutive corners now. Gomez goes back to the well. Puts it near post, met first by NYCFC. Here's Monis cleaning things up. Ultimately spilling out of play again, this time on the near side. And NYCFC will have the throw. They will hit the road for their next 3 consecutive matches. It'll be trips to Matthews, North Carolina to visit Crown Legacy. They head up to Foxborough to take on New England, rather Rhode Island, at Burns Stadium where New England Revolution 2 play their matches this season. And then a trip down south to Atlanta United. A stretch of big matches coming up for NYCFC. CT United, meanwhile, they are in the midst of an 8-match homestand. And somewhat recently getting big news in terms of potential future home venues. Back in May, announcing a Dodd Stadium deal in Norwich. Switching the point of the attack here are the Coy Wolves. Monis lifts it out wide. Still turning with it is CT United, deflected away. And it goes out for another corner. Lacey swings this in. First to it is Goddard, but heads it out. McCoy Wolves, they get Carolina Core in their next contest, who have had a tough go of it to open up 2026. Just 2 wins, a 2-8-6 record for the Foxes, currently in 14th position in the Eastern Conference table. They have semi-recently made an abundance of changes in that organization, including Donovan Ricketts moving on, was the head coach for the last 2 years, stepped in an interim role as well prior to getting the full-time job. That battle of the 2 independents will be next weekend. In fact, a week from tomorrow, just on the heels of the 4th of July. Driven ahead. Loyola made first contact and running it down. Is Adonis Campos to spin that away from danger. Speaking of the 4th of July, fellow Eastern Conference teams will make some big history. NYCFC's previous opponent prior to CT United, Chattanooga FC, set to host their first contest ever at Erlinger Park in Chattanooga, home of the Chattanooga Lookouts. They'll take on Inter Miami as that one will roll across the end line, knocked out of play by NYCFC, and it will be a late corner here for CT United. Lacey again. In swinger toward the near post that time. Same result though. NYCFC, their set piece defense has been exceptional so far tonight. Meanwhile, Camilo Ponce dragged down. Officially 3 minutes of stoppage time doled out by Jeremy Shear and company. Quickly restarted. Musu racing unopposed and behind. Now Musu goes for goal. Rankenberg gets a hand to it and parries it away. It'll be a throw for the visitors. Very nearly finding their 5th goal of the evening. Meanwhile, you see Sebastiano Musu hunkered over. Hands on his knees there, right in the center of your screen. Talk about a hard shift turned in. A brace for Sebastiano Musu in this contest. A 3-goal involvement night. Had an assist on one of the other 4 goals for NYCFC. He came in with 4 goal involvements on the season, almost equaling that total in this match as we get another yellow handed out. Despite all the goals, we've seen even more bookings in this contest. Steered inside, won't make its way through. Off the Kwanong effort. Deflected back to Paisho. Petrie. Petrie squares in front toward Goddard. Knotted it wide. Was unable to get his hips turned toward goal and get a proper effort off on that free header. Meanwhile, Adonis Campos shown yellow moments ago from Jeremy Shear. Yellow shown to Campos, the 6th this contest has seen. It's already seen a red card. Jonathan Lopez sent off a few minutes ago due to his 2nd yellow. Falls all the way through. Lacey, the layoff. Modis puts it in front, and all over it is Brennan Klein again. One last push here for CT United. Up the far side they go. And on cue, there is the full-time whistle from Jeremy Shear. Approaching the midway point of the year, and NYCFC are picking up steam. 3 wins in their last 4 matches, including this 4-1 win on the road over CT United. An impressive effort from the Pigeons, especially from tonight's man of the match. Sebastiano Musu is your man of the match, presented by Adidas on this fine evening in New Haven, and for good reason. Goals in first half stoppage time. The brace completed in the 70th, assisted on a goal in the 68th minute, willing NYCFC to victory on the road over CT United. It is unbeaten in 4 for the first time in a calendar year for Matt Pilkington's Pigeons of NYC FC2. They win it 4-1 over CT United. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Good night from the Nutmeg State.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.